welcome to SciMOD. This video is made to show you how to use SciMOD software to create a dynamic graph to see some of the more common functions in math and physics. We have an utility called Worksheets, easy to use and where we will write all the instructions to create our functions. In this case we will make an example of how a sine function looks when we change its parameters. As you can see here. To do this, first we open SciMOD in desktop and choose from the options on the window display the Worksheets button. When we choose this option, a blank window will appear, and this is where we enter all the commands needed to plot our function. As you saw in the example, we can modify the window properties. Do bigger the window by clicking the lower right corner and just pull. Then, right-click on any part inside the window. A menu will be displayed. Select Color panel and choose the color you like. Close the window and again right-click inside and select Background Color Selection. It's time to include the widgets we need. First we want to see our function, so we need a plotter. Select the widget pop-up button and choose Plotter from the menu. You can move it by grabbing the edge of the plotter and put it where you want. Also make it bigger by clicking the lower right corner and pull. Second, we add the slider. Select the widget pop-up button and look for the slider button. Select it and equally move it by grabbing the edge. Now we enter the commands in the first chart. We need to define the domain where the function will take the values to plot. We enter the range for our function and also how many points we want to see display on the plot. So the only we have to do is to define a domain as follow. Here we are defining a domain from 0 to 2 pi with 300 points to be represented. Now it's important to note that if you want to go to the second line, in Worksheets is not that easy, like press the return key. To do this, hold the Alt and press the return key. On the second line define the name to our function. Why in this case? Specify a domain and include a variable that we will vary. Always remember that the functions start with uppercase. Here T is the domain we defined previously and K is the variable who will change the function as it varies. We define the range for our new variable, so we go to the slider widget and in the variable space we write K and press enter. Some new spaces will be available and here we have to specify its range. We start the range at 0 and end it at 10, as you can see. After that just press the return key and now we have our variable. You can check it just moving the slider below. Here comes an important step. Once we define the variable K, we have to define it as master variable to be considered by the first chart. To do this, right-click the widget edge and select Define as Master. Similarly, we go to the first chart, right-click on the edge and select Define as Slave. Already we have all the necessary to create our sine function. Now is time to plot the result and see how it looks. Of course we want to be plot on the widget that we add, so to do this, on the third line in first chart we put. And in this space we have to specify our plotter name. For this we go to the plotter widget, right-click on the edge and select About Plot View. We copy its name, close the window and we paste it in the space, as you can see. Finally, just press the return key. Choose pressing the little button below the plotter a color for your function. Change k values, and now you can see how does the sine function varies depending on k.